What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the NBA Slate Starter Podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down Tuesdays. How many games is it? Oh, it's four-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. We're in the middle of a real special situation here. Once upon a time in New Orleans, there was a game canceled because of a roof leak, and sure enough, I thought it was going to happen again. It didn't happen. I guess that means that's the only thing that can really be talking about run good outside of a lot of LeBron exposure, too much Maxey and Harris as it stands right now, but we'll see as that progresses. Ryan, how's your night going?
Was it New Orleans? I thought it was in Philadelphia.
There was a New Orleans situation where it was Philadelphia, and then there was definitely one in New Orleans where there was a roof leak.
Gotcha.
The Marcus Morris mopping the floor was definitely in Philadelphia. You're correct.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Was it Cousins?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Marcus Morris. I don't know. It's always there's two of them, so I had a better chance guessing a Morris twin. Continue.
No, definitely. This we're coming off a Monday slate where the likes of Valanciunas and LeBron James and Darius Garland are taking people to the promised land, and we'll see if the guys who we all thought would take us in the guys like Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris are serviceable enough where they're quote unquote must haves with the ownership. Very two heavily owned guys, but rightfully so. No Harden, no Embiid. It made a lot of sense to go to their two main guys. The late night hammer started off in a delay, but I do think there's some very intriguing pieces in that matchup.
Shout out to everybody hanging out in the old Twitter spaces again here today. I see our guy, Nolan Kelly, the boss man himself. Armani, we've got him hanging out. Luke, that's Reeves DFS. Chris, we see you. We've got the Brown Dogs. And then we got Steven Sleeper. I'm always taking my time reading these names. That's something that must be done. Ty Blunt, what's going on? How you guys all doing here? Hanging out in the Twitter spaces. Kind of a new fun feature that we're adding to the grouping just so that we can give you guys a shout out. Maybe learn to take some questions live as we're going along with this. Want to be a little bit more interactive, but we'll for sure take questions once we finish up the Slate Starter podcast recording itself. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. All of that goes a really long way for Ryan and I, but especially 5-star reviews on Spotify or Apple. Even if you're just watching us on YouTube, if you head to Apple and Spotify and take the time to leave us a 5-star review, I can't tell you how far it goes for both him and myself. Just being able to kind of cover all the ins and outs of every DFS slate the night before, trying to get you guys prepared for all of the great content we have the next day, but just giving you a jump start on your process goes a really, really long way for us. And shout out Kev for coming out and hanging out. Kev William, good to see you in the Twitter spaces as well. But anything else you want to talk about with tonight's slate, Ryan?
No, it was a slate that was very close in starting times between 7 p.m. Eastern and 8:30 Eastern. We got all the lineups in. So not any long gaps of potential late swap. We got news here and there, but majority of the news was given to us as we were waiting on the Philly starting lineup. But on to tomorrow's 4-game slate we go, where there's some important players who will be out tomorrow.
Well, then should you just say the words?
That's right.
There we go. Trae Young, top end. 10-4 for him going up against the Knicks. Not the best situation, but this is a Trae Young absent John Collins who exceeds a 30% usage, has a pretty sky-high assist rate. Now, doubled in that department in all but one of his last 8 games. That's going to be what happens absent. Well, he's the focal point of everything that they do, period. So makes a good spend up. But then you have this gap. He's really the only spend up at guard. You have no Steph Curry, obviously, for a long time. Paul George has been non-existent for months. And Chris Middleton is going to be out here against the Bulls as well, which should open up some interesting stuff in Value Town. But Klay Thompson is actually the next guy at 8,100. And it's not that it's shown up in the last 2 games in the box score. He's gone 1 for 11, 6 for 12 from 3 was good. But the thing that's going to be such a problem about an 8,100 Klay Thompson is he just doesn't add anything in the way of peripheral stats. And so if he doesn't go out and put up 40 real points, you're really treading water at that $8,100 price tag. But the guy that's just going to pop for everybody tomorrow, it's got to be Drew Holiday, absent Chris Middleton. Anytime you get one of those big 3 out, you play the other 2. And you play Giannis all the time. Ryan, talk to me about guard on DraftKings.
Yeah, looking over there on the guard position on DK, it's a 4-game slate, a little bit more concentrated ownership on the players that have great point per dollar value. So it's always going to be interesting to see what the ownership looks like when the games begin. But the guard up top, you have the likes of Trae Young taking on a Knicks team. You know, Trae Young versus the Knicks, what he did to them in the playoffs. Ironically, the Hawks are coming into a very disappointing season. Drew Holiday, Love that price tag, sub 8K. Zach LaVine on a back-to-back. He has not looked right. Non-zero chance wouldn't shock me if he doesn't play tomorrow, just because he has not looked well at all over the last 2 weeks or so. Other guards that I think you should definitely consider. Klay Thompson's going to shoot the ball 20 plus times a game. And that shot volume alone, I know he's very going to be very volume scoring dependent. I don't mind at $8,100 at the guard spot. You get the 3-point bonus on DraftKings. I'm definitely okay rostering Klay Thompson. He might be a little bit lower owned than usual. Spending down here a little bit, we noticed today that there will be Alex Caruso entered the starting lineup, $4,100. I think he came off a strong start in the first quarter. Not sure how he finished up heading into halftime, but Caruso's a player that I think we can go to for some value. No one really sticks out to me below 4K. We've in a 4-game slate right now. It might be a little too cute, but there are some mid-tier guys in the likes of Monty Morris, Emmanuel Quickley as well. I'm not sure if Gary Payton's set to return, but if Gary Payton plays tomorrow, I'll have some interest at $3,800. He's another guy I think we should consider. I think he'll be thrown right into the mix of playing significant amount of minutes, I think, if he does return. So we'll see, though. $3,800 is why I'm intrigued by him at his price tag.
I want to get your opinion on one guy. I mean, how do we get away from playing some Will Barton? He has been excruciatingly bad. It's been a lot of Bones Highland there for Denver, but this is a 4-game slate. Looking at this 10 p.m. Eastern time late night hammer between the Clippers and Denver, Denver got embarrassed by Boston. I got to assume Will Barton needs to be a bigger part of what they do going forward. Do you have any interest in him at 5,100 on DK?
Oh, definitely. I really do like 5,100. I know Will Barton has been awful of late, and people in Denver just think Jokic, but there are other guys at their price tag. Barton has a 30-plus point upside. If he gets you 30-plus points on a 4-game slate, you're going to be very, very pleased. I'd rather go to Barton than Bones Highland. Bones Highland priced all the way up at $5,300, but he's earned it. But Barton definitely has the upside. On a 4-game slate where I don't think the players will go to him in confidence, I think we should be willing to take advantage of that situation.
That was the first time since we've been doing this. I mean, it's been all of a day and a half where I haven't had it. I had my mic muted on Twitter Spaces. And so they just were listening to nothing for 15 seconds while I asked you the most interesting question I've ever asked anybody in my entire life. That's not true. I was asking about a shitty Will Barton. Let's talk about guard on FanDuel. Top end, Trae Young 10-2 there. Drew Holiday 8,100. They didn't really price him up either. You can play him at shooting guard. Very, very helpful to be able to play Drew Holiday all over the board on FanDuel tomorrow. He'll be crazy popular. DeMar DeRozan now down to 7,800. If you speculate correctly and you say that no, Zach LaVine is going to be there, well, DeMar DeRozan 7,800, and that is very, very different, even against a tough Milwaukee spot here against Giannis and company here. But don't forget, we also have Giannis sitting there. He's probable. He's going to be just fine. We're looking a little bit further. Jordan Poole, 7,400. So he went down a tiny bit. He's now got identical tags to DK. I think that actually makes him an intriguing guy for FanDuel specifically. Point guard, shooting guard there. I really have interest going there. And then Klay Thompson, if you want to try to make him a thing in his 40 real points, go for it on FanDuel at 7K. I think that makes a little bit more sense. Oh my God, Cole Anthony's 5,700. How do we not fall for that trap tomorrow, Ryan?
How do we not fall for that trap? I mean, he's been awful as well. Look, this Orlando team seemingly has been giving up 50-point games to like everyone and their mom in the NBA. Someone on Golden State is due, but I do like going to Cole Anthony at that price tag. It's tough to go there in super confidence, but Anthony could put up 40 fantasy points at 5,700. We have Jalen Suggs already ruled out, so some potential extra minutes to go to him. And Markelle Fultz continued to be limited. Spending up top, can Trae Young be the highest scoring player on this slate? Yes, on a 4-game slate, that's extremely valuable. So I know he's expensive at 10-2, probably one of the more expensive price tags we've seen him in some time. I don't mind going to Trae. DeMar DeRozan, the next guy, him and Drew Holiday stick out to me. DeRozan is too cheap at $7,800. It wouldn't shock me. He's one of the most heavily owned guys on FanDuel, definitely tomorrow. And look, if LaVine plays, I'll be willing to take some chances with him. But I'd rather save 400 and go to a guy like Klay. I just think that makes a lot more sense. And then you get the mid-tier of guys who are solid options on a 4-game slate like Reggie, RJ Barrett. We touched on Jordan Poole earlier. All those guys are fine. Nothing that I'm too extremely excited about, but they all make a ton of sense. Now, if you want to spend down yet again, Will Barton only 44 here, even better than his DraftKings price tag, and I like him even better on FanDuel, shooting guard, small forward, alongside with the guys like Alex Caruso. Makes a ton of sense as well. And one of the Knicks guards in its Atlanta matchup, either Burks or Fournier, 5,200, 4,800. I don't mind taking a $4,800 Fournier tomorrow. It's a 4-game slate. You got to take some chances on guys who we really usually don't like rostering, and Fournier is definitely on that list.
That's not very nice, Harmony. Terrible production. I apologize. I hit the mute button. It's okay. If you troll me on Twitter, it's actually pretty funny to me. So good call by you, Armani. I will try not to hit that mic button or that mute button on my mic. It says mic is on, and every time I'm looking at it, I'm like, don't tell me that it's a mic. I'm aware. High five. Oh my God. Look at it. It's our friend, Marie, Don, Yeezy, back in the house. Good to see you again, my friend. Enjoying having all of you guys here on Twitter Spaces. Let's keep it rocking, my guy. Guard on Yahoo. A lot of the same characters we've got here. We've got Trae Young, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine. Further down here, we've got Jordan Poole, $25. That seems fun to me. I don't want to play Alec Burks. Don't make me play Alec Burks. I can't play Alec Burks, right?
I think you can play Alec Burks.
I know you can. I don't want to, though. Talk to me about guard on Yahoo.
Looking at the guard spot on Yahoo, pricing is definitely spread out here tomorrow. Not many super studs up top. $45 Trae Young being the most expensive. I'd rather save and fall to a guy like Drew Holiday. That makes a ton of sense to go to. The next tier guys, you get the likes of LaVine and Reggie. I like going to Drew Holiday over those guys pretty confidently. If you want to save a little bit, you do get a $10 RJ Hampton, $10 Markelle Fultz. They're okay, nothing too exciting. Yeah, $10 Gary Payton will be in play if we do get some confidence in what those minutes would look like. Outside of that, Will Barton's appropriately priced here / too expensive at $18. So yeah, spending up for Drew Holiday makes a lot of sense tomorrow on Yahoo. Sprinkling in some guys like Bones Highland down there. And I think everyone else they've done an excellent job with pricing. So definitely spending up for one of those studs up top make a lot of sense on Yahoo.
LeBron James, 38, 12, and 11. That seems good, wouldn't you say?
I agree. I think that looks fantastic.
Also looking fantastic. Yahoo. Sign up. Deposit $10 or more. Play in any paid contest, and you get the opportunity to automatically be a winner because you'll get 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. That's every sport behind the paywall, not just NBA. But we've got MMA going almost every weekend, it seems like at this point. PGA, same thing. We've got 2 golf tournaments for the PGA this weekend. Excited to be breaking down those tomorrow with Jason Roslin and Ben Raza on the PGA Strategy Show. So looking forward to that one. We've got NCAA tournament projections, which our friend Nolan Kelly there in the chat just had a takedown on Saturday. So, I mean, we're talking about some of the best things that you can possibly get in the DFS space for every single sport here at Awesemo, the Boom Bust tool, the Top Fighters tool, the Top Golfers tool, the PGA Pro Plays, everything you could possibly want, all for just $10 by playing over on Yahoo. And Yahoo itself, the lowest rate you're going to find in the entire industry. If you play at one site, that you're going to play MME, that you're going to play multiple lineups, if you're going to only just play one lineup, no matter which kind of a player you are, you're going to get it in good at Yahoo because of the low rate that they offer there. Usually 4, even 5% lower with some of their contests than what you're going to find on the main sites, DraftKings and FanDuel. So stop guessing, start winning, play over at Yahoo today. And thank you so much to them for their sponsorship here of the Live Before, of everything. I just said Live Before Lock. It's the NBA Slate Starter, but I keep hearing the echo in my head, and I'm trying to not figure that out. I'm going to figure that out here at some point. Do you have a workaround, Ryan?
I'm trying to figure that out as well. We're figuring this out as we go. But the one thing about Twitter Spaces is since we are broadcasting from a phone and laptop, Twitter Spaces doesn't allow us to completely mute the volume for some reason. It's a very interesting forced feature that they've let upon us.
What happens if you were on the most important Twitter Spaces of your life, but then your wife was talking to you and you needed to go mute for a second? Would you just have to leave the room and then risk the possibility of not getting back? I'm asking for a friend.
I have no idea.
All right, I will figure that out because I don't want to get in trouble. Forward we go. Giannis, probable 12-1. He's another spend up that going to be a luxury item on this slate. Him and Trae Young at the top end. Further down, Julius Randle 9K. We've got DeRozan 8,600, and then Wendell Carter 8,400, all the way up to 8,400 for a guy who just went berserk against OKC. Golden State and Draymond Green, a little bit of a different story here, but you still have interest in going to Wendell Carter at that inflated price.
Wendell Carter at that inflated price tag. It's okay. I don't like paying up top when everyone's at their ceiling price tag. There's a reason why they're priced the way they are. He's earned it though. He's been balling out, but I think I'm gonna have to shy away a little bit at $8,400. It seems a little too expensive when guys priced around him are like DeMar DeRozan. And a little bit more, you get Julius Randle. You get a 12-1 Giannis. Giannis is the true superstar on the slate. Is it a priority on this slate? I don't think so right now. There's not the strongest of value to jam him in there completely. He's 12-1, but Giannis does outscore the next highest scoring player by, let's say, 20 or more points. You're going to need him. That's just how it's going to be. But looking around here, if you want to spend down a little bit, it's a position that's very interesting. We saw Draymond Green priced up. Minutes go up, but he got ejected last game out. He's 6K. I like going to Draymond Green a lot against this Orlando team. I think we might get him at lower ownership than he should be owned. I think Draymond Green has triple-double upside within him. Draymond Green, I like a lot. Now, if you're looking for other guys there, no Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis, 6,600. He's another guy to target as well. And in that Clippers-Denver matchup in the late night hammer, Aaron Gordon can certainly get it done at $5,000 as well. There's not any cheap guys that really stick out to me. We saw Pat Connaughton return for this Milwaukee team. He's sub 4K. But man, it is not the slate if you're looking for jamming in cheap guys. I mean, the guys under 4K that stick out to me right now are Pat Connaughton, maybe a JaMychal Green. Maybe it's Quentin Grimes at 3,700. Look, it gets ugly really fast. I mean, is there anyone that you like under $4,000?
Not on DraftKings. FanDuel, you've got RJ Hampton, Grayson Allen, 4K Alex Caruso, Austin Rivers. If like you're in an absolute bind and a gun to your head, like those are opportunities you can roster those guys. But on DraftKings, it is so bleak at the bottom end. Sorry, that was specifically guard here, but a lot of those guys guard and forward eligibility. So it just makes it really hard to find those super values. Patrick Williams is 3,700. I'm curious to see how many minutes he actually plays. They said 25 minutes. Do you think he plays on a back-to-back? I personally don't. So you could be looking at him and Levine both being out, and there's an opportunity to find something there to mine out from Chicago against Milwaukee. But what do you think the best play sub 4K is at forward on DraftKings?
On DraftKings?
Yeah.
I said I don't like anybody sub 4K.
Oh, there you go. That's the right answer. To forward we go on FanDuel. Giannis 11-2 on the top end here. Julius Randle's 8,300. DeMar DeRozan 7,800. A lot of the same cast of characters, but an 11-2 Giannis on FanDuel is a lot different than a 12-1 Giannis over on DraftKings. Hopefully you guys understand that here by now. $3,500 floor on FanDuel, $3K on TK. It's just math, y'all. Further down we go. You get Andrew Wiggins, and that's going to be a piece of news that it's a little bit different here now that he's going to be ruled in here. He had like a left knee contusion. He's going to be just fine here going forward. Just another guy between Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, and him. All three guys that, just like Steph, are volume scorers that don't go completely nuts in terms of adding up other stats here. But God, with Draymond Green back, I just don't know how I land on a guy like that when there's just this mid-range of guys. You know, even a Franz Wagner, at least he's going to be playing a lot of minutes. Otto Porter started last time out. DeAndre Hunter, 5K in his current situation at Atlanta. I find everybody to be a little bit more intriguing, but I think the guy who's going to end up being very popular, actually the two guys, Evan Fournier and Danilo Gallinari, facing each other at 4,800 at small forward there. I think they had some nice value on FanDuel that doesn't feel apocalyptic like DraftKings. What sticks out to you on FD?
Yeah, looking there on FanDuel, I think Giannis here is more of a priority. 11-2. It's pretty cheap price tag for Giannis on a 4-game slate. I like him a lot. And now everyone on FanDuel is just a little bit more cheaper than they are on DK. So guys like Randle and DeMar DeRozan all look like phenomenal plays here. Even Bobby Portis only 5,600. So it's a very slate where you're just being able to jam in these studs and nailing the right value. The value sticking out this forward spot, small forward position being The guy, Will Barton, has small forward eligibility, and his teammate Aaron Gordon, 4,500. I have a feeling one of those guys can certainly get there alongside Jokic in this Clippers matchup. Now, Andrew Wiggins is 6,700. I know he's not exciting to roster, but it's against Orlando, and Wiggins can certainly get the job done. There are going to be games where Clay has a monster game, and I think Wiggins is going to have a monster game as long as Steph is out. It's just I think they're going to have to facilitate the offense between those two guys as the lead usage guys on this team. It's going to be on Draymond to get them together. Draymond Green's okay here. I think you can consider him as an option.
Did you just say okayer?
Sorry.
Did you say okayer?
No, I said okay here.
Oh, I thought you said okayer, and I was about to make fun of you for the rest of your life. Go ahead and continue.
Oh, no. Draymond Green, 5,800, where you're getting bonus points for steals and blocks, I think is completely fine to consider here. Marcus Morris, the same price tag as him, so both are fine options to go to. FanDuel, just like everyone's just priced too cheap, where the only guys who really don't interest me are guys like Kevon Looney at $4,600. I don't like rostering him, but he's going to be on the court a bunch. I think Otto Porter is priced too expensive now at $5,500. Recency bias, he had a great game last time out. Tough to see that happen, even with if Gary Payton does return, it makes that even more difficult for that to happen as well.
All great calls. To Yahoo we go, where I think the pricing is at its best. $57 Giannis, that is brutal. That is going to be really expensive to get to. I like seeing him priced up there just because it is that slate where he would be the key stud. If you can get up there with Jokic, and you have to pay up for nice things, $57 and $56 respectively there for Giannis and Jokic. DeMar DeRozan, $40. Julius Randle, $38. So you're not really getting a discount going there. Wendell Carter at power forward is $31. I think that's really an intriguing spot if you're not going to be building with Giannis there in that spot. Draymond, 23. We saw those minutes get up, it would have gotten up to 20. What they said 5 minutes was going to be where his minutes limit was, or 28. So there's a possibility of that. Don't read anything into that last game against San Antonio. It was wonky. He got ejected. So further down, Otto Porter Jr., $17, I think becomes somebody to talk about. DeAndre Hunter at $15. Nothing really underneath that as it stands right now. Pat Connaughton at $10 if you were in an absolute bind and needed $10, but I don't see much there. What sticks out to you, Ryan, on our sponsor site?
Yeah, looking over there on our sponsor site, it's yet again, they've done a great job with pricing. It is been a really nice job with their sponsor site, making it a little more difficult for decisions to be made at the forward spot here. But if you can jam in Giannis, I know he's $57, but if he, like I said, just laps the field in fantasy points, he certainly can on this 4-game slate. He's fine to go to. And now if you want to spend down here, you do get a very, I think Klay Thompson at $27 is probably my favorite forward option to go to here. He makes a lot of sense to fall on. Teammate Andrew Wiggins, $24. So Golden State versus Orlando seems like a priority for me to target kind of any of those guys. Look, we're going to get some huge upside games for these guys without Steph Curry. I know it's the offense doesn't run the same way, but Steph Curry just sucks up so much of that usage. If you want to spend down a little bit more, even Kuminga, $13 sneaky play will be very low on for sure. Marcus Morris, only $18. I love that price tag for him. It doesn't seem like that much of necessary to spend super cheap here. There's not that many appealing guys that I can go in confidence in the bare minimum. So a nice balanced build might be the way to go on Yahoo, but news can change everything in a quick blink over there.
All right. To center we go, as we do. Just another shout out to everybody hanging out in the Twitter spaces here as we're trying all of this out. Carlin, good to see you once again. A lot of familiar faces from yesterday. Good to see guys coming in and out of the room here, hanging out with us, talking the slate for tomorrow. Stick around. We're going to take some questions at the very, very end. If you want to ask a top 15 player in the world exactly how his process works, if you want to talk to a top 600? I don't even want to throw it out there. I don't know how you rank such things in terms of just sheer volume. I'm better than that. No, I don't know what I am, Ryan. I'm okay. If you want to ask me questions too, I'll just kind of like contribute in that regard too. But specifically, you're going to want to ask the man, the myth, the legend himself, Rayen Patnaik, what he does to print money. Because I'm sure not doing it tonight. Maybe you are. And I have like all the LeBron. So Tough beat, kid. Tough beat. To center we go. Let's round this out. Nikola Jokic is 12-4 at the top end, the most expensive of the studs. I think in terms of priority, I know it sounds crazy. I mean, just Giannis, Trae Young, Jokic. I love Jokic, but at 12-4, that is just such a massive tag to be looking at, especially if you get the opportunity to have no Zach LaVine on this back-to-back. Vooch is there at 7,700. You've got Capella 6,400 absent John Collins. That's been a serviceable option. And even Zubats, his tag is starting to come back down here at 6,100. He's played no minutes the last 2 games. It's been really, really wonky here, but you had an absolute massacre against Utah and against Toronto. I don't even know what happened, but Zubats isn't exactly the best guy to be on the floor next to Pascal Siakam. So I think I understand it. Low 30s minutes. I got to expect him and Jokic. They've had wars before. I expect he's going to be on the floor a lot. I'm going to have some interest at 6,100 for our boy. Do you?
Yeah, just looking at this matchup, you watched this matchup live as I caught you courtside for this Clippers-Denver matchup.
It was. Look at me. I'm fancy sometimes.
Yeah, you're LA smooth, right? I mean, come on.
Isn't this game in Denver? It's in Denver. Continue.
You never know. I might catch you in Denver. You take that private jet down there. You never know. I might catch you courtside down.
Don't give people the wrong idea.
Hey. I'm just saying what I see. 12-4 Nikola Jokic. Him and Giannis. Who do you prefer? Giannis or Nikola tomorrow?
Giannis.
I'm also going to go with Giannis. Yeah. And I think the field might not. That's where we might get a differentiation there. But things can change. Now, if you don't want to play Jokic, you're going to have to play another center here. Being a 4-game slate does not seem like a strong two center build on our 2-center build sites like DraftKings and Yahoo. But there's the guys like in the mid-tier. Vucevic, sub 8K. I think he's a solid option to go to. They're on a back-to-back. Potentially, we'll see someone take a little load management day off. Bobby Portis is 6,600. Now, if you don't want to go there, it gets thin really fast. There's Mitchell Robinson. There's Ivica Zubac. Zubac is hit or miss versus Jokic. There are some games where he just looks like the best guy guarding Jokic, and then there's some games where he'll pick up 3 fouls in the first 6 minutes of the game. So go with what you want. $6,100. It's a bit expensive for Ivica Zubac, but he does have the upside games within him. Wendell Carter is going to be virtually unowned at $8,400. That's the only thing that's going to go for him, that he's going to be unowned. But other guys who are cheap that have upside here, guys like DeMarcus Cousins can get it done off the bench. Mo Bamba and Clint Capella are guys who will be low owned with this, how their prices are mapped out. But I'll have some interest in just spreading my center ownership around. I don't want to spend a center spot on guys like Batum or who else is on there. I can't go to guys like Brook Lopez or Serge Ibaka even. It's just going to be, I'm going to focus on guys who are starters and get significant of the run. Your Capellas, your Robinsons, your Bobby Portis, your Vooch. That seem like the way to spread out center ownership tomorrow.
We have a celebrity in our midst, Ryan. There was one bro who came in, gave us the peace sign, and left. Did you see him come in?
I did.
What a sick, phenomenal human being he is when it comes to DFS. Thanks for stopping by and literally just dropping a deuce and leaving. Literally, that's what he did.
I know. You were saying it, and I just had a feeling it was headed that way. And...
yeah, it did. It did. You'd think after 300 shows together that I would be better than this, but I'm not. I'm not above a good poop joke. To FanDuel we go. Jokic 11.5, Randall 8,300. A lot of power forward / center guys that you can put in there. Jokic 11.5 compared to Giannis 11.2, where you can only roster one center. Maybe you start having that conversation, but you get Vooch at 6,900. You get Zoo at 6,300. Further down, Brook Lopez not at 5K. I'm going to be spending 5K and up for all my centers tomorrow. That is almost for damn sure. But who's your favorite to roster for tomorrow's slate, Ryan?
It might be that $6,900 Nikola Vucevic price tag. If it's not him, it's going to be Nikola Jokic up top. Everyone else seems priced appropriately. I have lost confidence in going to a guy like Mo Bamba there. Clint Capella is not priced up. His minutes with Onyeka Okongwu make it really difficult to go to Capella. but it's Vooch for me. And center on 4-game slate, not many options to go to, so you better nail it if you want to have a chance tomorrow.
Is Tobias Harris seriously not going to get to his 16.5 and 17.5 point props? Like, is this really going to happen today?
I don't ask me.
Come on, dude. Maxey he already beat 17.5. That was a freebie. Oh, Harris scores as soon as I say that. They're up 103.99. 3:30 left here to go. 13 points for Harris. We need 4.5 more. Going to be tough to get the half. So probably 5 is the right answer of how many points I need. Let's round this out here on Yahoo. Then we will go to the Twitter Spaces and hang out for a little bit. Come join us. If you're listening on YouTube after the fact, it's really fun to do. It's fun for Ryan and myself to just hang out with some of the people who might listen every single day or them are maybe newer, have some questions about DFS. We're always happy to help people of all ability, no matter what contest you're playing in, we'll have some idea of a way to help you. Let's head over to Yahoo, my friend. Jokic, $56 on the sponsor site. Vooch, 32. Then it drops off a cliff. Like, you've got Clint Capella, 24. Portis, 23. I think he's the one guy that maybe we haven't talked about a whole heck of a lot here. What do you see his minutes being? I mean, Brook Lopez is there, but absent Chris Middleton, is there a possibility they share the floor together tomorrow?
It is. I'm not sure. I just don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see, and I don't know.
Honestly, you're Renpack. You are all knowing.
No, I'm not gonna be Mr. Know-it-all and try to.
I'm gonna go through a lot of 2020, 2021 NBA Finals just to figure out how much they shared the floor together tomorrow. That's going to be a big part of the day.
There are definitely times where they did share the floor, but
was it very effective for one or the other? I'm going to guess probably not, especially because Giannis and Drew were along with them.
Yeah, I'm not sure honestly, but looking over here, I mean, looking at guys in the middle. I mean, Zubac, Mitchell Robinson, block upside for him. Those guys stick out to me. You can definitely spend it for Vooch and Jokic, but not the strongest of values to jam in Jokic and Giannis on this slate at this moment. A balanced build seems like the way to go, but keep in mind, I'm looking at this almost 24 hours in advance. But I definitely have some interest in going to Robinson at $21 on Yahoo, where you get the block upside. We've seen Robinson crack 30 minutes more consistently this season. Consistently might not be the right word, but more often than we usually have with the lack of Nerlens Noel. And Robinson has the upside to just pick up 5 blocks and really carry that fantasy score on Yahoo there. So I really like him. Definitely not a 2-center slate for me. Do you think it's a 2-center slate?
Absolutely not. There's not even a remote possibility for that. I mean, there's going to be the opportunity of Jokic and Zoo to work out for me in the same game environment, maybe a Capella kind of mixing in there, but I think you've got to find some savings, and I think you got to go down to the mid 4s, upper 5s, anything in that range on DraftKings and FanDuel is going to really open it up. With Yahoo, I just don't see how you find any value down at center where it's yes, I want to play a ton of them. I will say, on a 4-game slate, I don't think it's the craziest thing to play some Cousins alongside some Jokic. And I know you've talked about that. He's $12 over on Yahoo. That's a lot different than paying $5K for him. And obviously you can't do it on FanDuel. So rounding it out, is that something that you're vehemently against tomorrow, or do you think there's enough upside in both of them?
No, I'm not against it. Can Cousins go out there in 15 minutes, put up 20, 25 fantasy points? He has that in his bag. The Clippers front court is nothing to be feared of. And he's been the lead usage guy a lot of times, and he's been playing a lot better than I expected, honestly. So, yeah, if you want to take a flyer on Cousins, I think tomorrow is the day to do so.
Oh, well, we just got some more people hanging out here in the Twitter Spaces, so we're going to jump over there now as we conclude the Slate Starter podcast recording. But, Ryan, any final words for the people that are listening over on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and all the other places?
5-star reviews would be fantastic. Thank you so much for yet again tuning in for another edition of the Slate Starter. Good luck on tomorrow's 4-game slate.
He's Renpack. He's I think you might have a sweat going. I'm Eric. I really, really don't. We'll see you guys tomorrow.